I'm reading right now Lord of the World by Benson.
Okay.
Uh, it's actually, I got to admit, this is like my third or fourth time to try to read it. I usually get in the first like several chapters and I get kind of bored with the English dialogue, but now I'm over halfway done with it and I'm loving it. Can't put it down. But the
Nice.
whole end time scenario in his book is the Freemasons
Hmm.
taking over. And what's interesting in the book Lord of the World is the world becomes more and more secularist. You know, you can kind of see it in our own time with like the UN and the EU. And this American, I think he's a senator, he says, no, we need to reestablish divine worship as part of our government. This is in the heart of men to worship.
Hmm.
We need worship. And so he starts to
Right.
mandate 4 feasts every year. There's a fall feast for paternity, a winter feast, which just replaces Christmas, maternity, and then life and sustenance for the 4 seasons. And
Yeah.
you're required to show up at the cathedrals, at the monasteries, and attend these things to
Hmm.
worship because humans have to worship. That's how the Antichrist in this novel breaks it down. He says, no, we need to have government mandated and approved worship because all humans want to worship. And of course,
Right.
this is reign of Antichrist.
Hmm.
Even the Pope. You know what's crazy about the? Have you read the book, Matt?
I've heard that Pope Francis, I think he's recommended it on occasion, but I have not read it, which is
Yes,
interesting that he's recommending this. Is it
I
like,
know. It's kind of weird. You should read it, Matt. I want to get your take on it. But I'm sure people watching right now have read the book. But what's interesting is the Pope, Papa Angelicus, he calls his cardinals and leaders together in Rome. And by the way, in the future, the Pope has exchanged all the church property in Italy just to have the city of Rome. So he owns Rome. It's a
okay,
Catholic papal state, Rome itself, and the
right,
official language is Latin, so everybody speaks Latin in the city. It's pretty cool.
nice,
So he's speaking to everyone in Latin, and he says, "Look, we had the Benedictines and the Augustinians and the Franciscans and the Dominicans and the Cistercians and the Jesuits, all during these crises of the church." And he says, "I fear we're in the final crisis of the great falling away, and therefore I, as Pope, establish a new order of poverty, chastity, and obedience with a fourth vow, the intention and the acceptance to receive martyrdom as a Catholic." That's the
wow,
fourth vow. And to go into all the world and to preach the gospel and to save souls and to fight the great apostasy.
right,
It's cool.
wow,
But what's crazy about it is in the book, this is all happening in the future. He's writing this around like 1910 or something.
hmm,
He is not aware that there's a Vatican II or that there will be. He
yeah,
In the future, all the priests are all celebrating Latin masses and Latin rites, and they know Latin. He projects into the future his own stable and strong church under Pius X
hmm,
and projects it into the future. And what's not believable about this novel, Lord of the World, is he doesn't realize that in the future, the spirit of Antichrist and the spirit of Freemasonry had burrowed its way into the Catholic Church and into the Vatican. That's
yeah,
what, as I'm reading this novel, I'm thinking this is cool, but he didn't foresee the wiles of the devil, and that would be the plot to destroy the church from within.
exactly. And I think another crucial point that folks have to understand regarding Freemasonry is that it not only seeks to destroy the church and Christian civilization, but it seeks to replace it with a mock version of Catholicism.